Hello everyone, in this video we will see what is incident management in ServiceNow. This is the most essential and basic topic in ServiceNow because initially ServiceNow was built on ITSM. So we need to have a clear understanding of this module. And in this video we will go in depth of incident management with its definitions and a demo as well. The agenda of this video is what is service, what is an incident and so on. Link to each topic is given in the description, so if you want to skip to any particular part you can go ahead and skip to that. A quick introduction about myself. I am Hardit Singh. I have 11 years of experience in IT and ITSM and ITIL and 7+ years of experience in ServiceNow. I'm currently working with a service-based organization. Now let's quickly start with what is a service. A service is a mean of enabling value co-creation by facilitating outcomes that customer wants to achieve without customers having to manage specific costs and risk. So this definition is as per ITIL v4. I'll try to take you through the each and every word and meaning of it. If you see value here, so it's a means of enabling value. Value means the perceived benefits, usefulness, and importance of something for the customers, like how they are perceiving them. When we are enabling a service as a service provider for them, what is the advantage or how they are using, what is the usefulness. Then outcomes is not actually the output. So there is a difference between output and outcomes. So outcome is the result of an output of a service. Let's take an example in real life. For example, you hire a wedding photography service and they will give you a wedding photo album after the wedding. So photo album is the output of that service which you took and paid for, but the outcome would be the happy memories you will be getting every time when you see that wedding photo album. Next is co-creation. As a service provider, we don't create values for customers per se. Rather, we work with them to create value for both parties. The customer clearly gets value because the service enables them to achieve something that is important for them. But as a service provider, we may develop new capabilities or relationships with the client, which will enable us to offer them multiple services or additional services. So that is how we are creating values for both of the parties. And finally, we have managed specific risks and costs. Every service removes some cost and risk from customer because that is why they are paying for that service. So basically we will be providing some IT service to the customer which will add benefit and they are ready to pay for that to us. Next is what is an incident. So incident is an unplanned interruption to a service or reduction in quality of that service. So we understood what is a service in previous slide. Now if we are providing any service to the client and there is some interruption in that service, for example we provided network service and the network goes down, so that is an incident. Or reduction in quality means, for example, if we provided database facility to the client and the database is running very slow, instead of returning data in few seconds, it is returning data in 10, 20, 30 seconds. So that is not expected from that service because it wasn't agreed upon that. At that point of time, the client or the customer will raise an incident that these things are not running as expected. So please go ahead and resolve them. An incident is any event that is not part of the standard operation of a service and that causes an interruption or a reduction in the quality of that service. Normal service operation is the operation of services within which the limits specified by the service target. So there will be something agreed upon before you are finalizing the services with the client. For example, you will be saying that 99.99% of the time the network will always be available, or database queries will be running very quickly and they will be returning data within no time. But if they are not running according to the specific target they had set, they will go ahead and raise an incident, or that is called an incident. So there are few more examples, like a website is not accessible. For example, Facebook might be down for like couple of hours or WhatsApp may be down for couple of hours and they went down without prior informing that there is a service outage. So that is an incident. Next is what is an incident management. The purpose of incident management practice is to minimize the negative impact of incidents by restoring normal service operation as quickly as possible. So when an incident has already happened, incident management team comes into picture or incident management comes into picture, and they try to minimize the effect of that incident, and they want to restore that service as soon as possible. Like if a website Facebook is down, an incident management team will come on call quickly, and they will push all the technical teams to restore that as soon as possible, and then later we will look at why this happened. So their only focus is to restore that website at that point of time or that particular service as quickly as possible. Whether it's a crashed laptop, corrupted data, or a painfully slow application, how we respond and deal with the interruption to service indicates whether we have an optimal incident management process. This practice can be handled by an individual teams or multiple organizations depending on the scale. So incident management can be a team or an individual or multiple organizations as well. ServiceNow's incident management. So how ServiceNow has configured incident management in ServiceNow out of the box. It first of all logs an incident in the instance or by sending an email. We will see in further slides and in ServiceNow as well how can we create an incident or how can we log an incident, and then we classify incidents by impact and urgency to prioritize work. We will also see this in a minute. Assign to appropriate groups for quick resolution. So we need to ensure that we are assigning that incident to a specific group who is responsible for that. For example, if the database is running slow, we should assign that incident to database team, and they will look into it if there is any problem on their database servers or is it a problem of network. Then escalate as necessary for further investigation. So if you want further teams to look into it, there are multiple teams involved, then we can escalate it to multiple teams as well. Then finally, resolve that incident and notify the user who logged it. The support teams will get in together or an individual team will resolve that incident and they will send an email, or ServiceNow will send an email when the incident is resolved to the caller or the user who logged the ticket. Then we can also finally use reports to monitor, track and analyze service levels and improvements, that how can we further manage those incidents better when they come in future. How can incidents be reported? We can report incidents through self-service. So self-service is already present in ServiceNow. We'll see that in a second. You can call the service desk on telephone on their helpline number and tell that there is an incident and you're not able to access the website, database or anything. Then you can send an email to the service desk or maybe to the ServiceNow's email ID, and it will create an incident automatically. That is also configured. You can also raise an incident through chat. If you want to chat with the service desk engineers, they will help you out in recognizing whether this is an incident or not, and if it is an incident, they will raise it on their behalf. And incidents can finally be reported through third-party tools as well. For example, we might have some monitoring tools which monitors that particular servers are running as expected or not. They will check it every hour. So for example, if the server is not responding, those monitoring tools will create an incident in ServiceNow automatically and will be assigned to the service desk or the particular team who is responsible for that. Now let's quickly see the self-service in ServiceNow. We are now in ServiceNow and this is a San Diego release, so that is why the UI look like this. If you can see on your instance a UI like this, so that is also fine. And from here we will go to the service portal, which mostly the self-service user or the end users use. This would look like this out of the box, but each organization has their own service portals which will look completely different, and there might be a direct option to raise an incident or any other request, but out of the box we'll have to type this and then search for that, and here we can see an option to create an incident, and these are the fields which are only required the urgency, and what is the issue. We'll look at urgency later, and I can say as of now server is down, and then I will get some knowledge articles how can we reboot the server. So it's kind of a self-service. If you want to do it yourself, if you find your solution here, that's well and good, but if you don't find your solution in this knowledge articles, just go ahead and submit this incident, and as soon as this incident is submitted, an incident number will come to you and email will be also fired to your email ID. Now I'll search for this incident here, and we can see system admin had raised that incident and the category has been assigned to inquiry and help. The channel was self-service. There are others as well. Virtual agent is the chatbot, and walk-in is if you walk in directly to the service desk team, or you can phone, email, chat, anything. And then the urgency was selected as to medium, and then the short description and description are also given as server as down. Because self-service users are not aware much about the details of the server, they might say only my Outlook is not working, but behind the scene there might be a problem that Outlook servers are not working. So self-service gives you a platform to raise an incident with minimal information, and service desk can go ahead and resolve that. Now the assignment group can be service desk, for example, and I will save this. And now the service desk will team connect with the system admin and understand what is the issue, and if really the server is down, they will assign this incident to maybe the server team or the database team accordingly. So they can go ahead and select database and it will be assigned to the database team. This is a formal list of incident management lifecycle. First is the incident identification, that is done by the end users or any other team or the third party tools which we had discussed. And as soon as incident is identified that it has occurred, next step is logging, incident logging, where we categorize and prioritize the incident, whether it's a high priority incident or a low priority incident, and then how we respond to that incident. We will diagnose the incident, what actually caused it, what was happening behind the scenes, is there anything else responsible for that, and then incident escalation if any other teams are to be involved, then investigation and diagnosis. It means we will investigate how can we restore this incident as soon as possible, and we will diagnose it and then resolve that incident, and then recovery. And finally, when we have agreed with the end user that it has been resolved, it auto closes after 7 days, or in your organization there can be 14 days, 1 month, or maybe at that point of time the assignment group team can close the incident. Next is impact. So there are 3 types of impact out of the box: low, medium, and high. And as the name suggests, a low impact would be minimal number of staff are affected by that service if it is not available, or a minimum number of customers are affected, or the financial part of the incident is likely to be less than $1,000, or the damage to the reputation of the business is likely to be minimal. So they could be like, for example, if one's individual laptop is not working, for example, if a developer's laptop is not working as of now, so it can be of low impact. Then comes a moderate or a medium impact. It means a moderate number of staff are affected and they are not able to do their job properly. A moderate number of customers are not able to access that service, or the financial impact of incident is likely to be more than $1,000 but less than $10,000, and the damage to the reputation of business is likely to be moderate. For example, if a website which is only accessed by 100 people, for example, not much, and it is not able to fetch some particular records, or some particular page is not working, so it will have a minimal impact on the reputation, but it is not able to provide the service which is it is supposed to. So this is an medium impact. And a high impact is a large number of staff are affected, a large number of customers are affected, the financial impact of incident is likely to be more than $10,000, the damage to the reputation of business is likely to be high, or someone has been injured. For example, now if Facebook is down for 2 or 3 hours and many customers will be impacted on that, or clients. So we are the clients who use Facebook, right? And then the financial impact would be definitely more than $10,000. Their share prices will come down and the damage to the reputation is likely to be very, very high. So this is impact. Next is urgency. So how soon it should be resolved. Then again we have low. The damage caused by the incident only marginally increases over time if it is low. Work that can be completed by staff that is not time sensitive. So anything which is not time sensitive can be done later. For example, if my laptop is not working, the incident is assigned to some individual, he can come tomorrow and fix that. It will not have that much of urgency. Medium is the damage caused by the incident increases considerably over the time. A single user with the VIP status is affected. So in ServiceNow we can define whether a user is VIP or not. And if VIP status user is using a laptop and it has stopped working or is corrupted, then it's a medium level urgency. And then this incident will be resolved as per the incident management policies or the playbook which their organization has set up. For example, if a director's laptop is not working and the incident is assigned to some individual, then he might assign it to someone else when he's leaving for the day, and that incident will be kept on be working by some other person and it should be resolved as soon as possible. And then comes the high. The damage caused by the incident increases rapidly. Work on that cannot be completed by staff is highly time sensitive. A minor incident can be prevented from becoming a major incident by acting immediately. Several users with VIP status are affected. Now, for example, all the directors or high-level CEOs are accessing a report, need access to a report, and it is not available at that point of time and should be immediately done because it will affect the reputation of the company or it will incur losses in income of the organization. So that is an urgent issue and should be categorized as high. Next is the priority. So how the priority of an incident is defined. So priority is a mix of impact and urgency, and this is the table which is out of the box. Every organization can have different priority set of tables, but mostly organizations which I have worked on are using the same out of the box table, and it is according to the best practices of ITIL as well. So for example, if the impact of the incident is high and the urgency is high, so it becomes the priority as one critical and should be resolved at that point of time. It has very time sensitive SLA, like the incident is assigned to the service desk team or any other team, they should respond within 15 minutes and it should be resolved within like half an hour or maybe 1 hour and should be fixed as soon as possible. Then comes 2 medium and 1 high. If the impact is 2 medium and the urgency is high, it's a 2 high. It is lesser than the critical but should be resolved maybe within 3 hours or 4 hours of when the incident was raised. And again, if the urgency is 2 medium and the impact is high, it's a 2 high again, and then same, it should be resolved within 3 or 4 hours. Every organization have their own set of SLAs. We will be discussing SLAs in detail in another video. We can see this priority on ServiceNow as well. Let me quickly take you through that. I'm now in ServiceNow and I will search for lookup. And here you can see priority lookup rules. And it is designed here that if it's a 1 high and a 1 high urgency, its priority is 1 critical. So you can see the priority actually calculates itself. And if the impact is 1 high, urgency is 2 medium, it's 2 high. Let me quickly show you through that an example. So we raised an incident a few seconds ago. I'll go and try to set the priority of that incident, and you can see here that the priority is a read only field, and I'll try to set it as high, urgency as high, and we can see it has been set to 1 critical. And now the SLAs according to that will be also fired, and the teams should resolve within the time limit which your organization has already set. I'll just scroll down a bit, and here we can see priority 1 resolution. So we can see the elapsed time as 24 minutes and the time left is 35 minutes. In 1 hour, this priority 1 incident should be resolved. And similarly, we have the response time, in how much time they should respond. And you can see here Any team who is assigned this incident should respond within 15 minutes and resolve in 1 hour. And SLAs are running according to that, and if they doesn't resolve that in 1 hour, it will become red. So just keep a note, these SLAs are dependent on the priority of incident, and it might also depend on the CI, whether if it's a production server or a dev server or a UAT server, and organizations can again configure SLAs according to their own policies. So this is not a hard and fast rule that only priority is responsible, only VIP users are responsible, or only CIs are responsible. So it is completely configurable by ServiceNow. After all this we have seen, this is the life cycle of an incident. We create a new incident, it goes in progress. In progress means it has been assigned to some team and they will resolve it, and then the incident is closed. There might be a possibility when the incident is put on hold. For example, if the assignment group or the service desk is awaiting some information from the user, for example their laptop number or the server which is down, the name of the server or the IP address of the server, or any other information. For that part of time when this incident is on hold, the SLA time clock will stop there and itself. So that time on which it is on hold, that time will not count in that 1 hour SLA. Then when the service desk or any other team is working on that incident and they identify this is not an incident, is just a request, or it is invalid request, they will cancel that incident. Let's quickly see that in ServiceNow. If we see here, the current state of this incident is new. When someone is working on this, it will change to in progress. Now for example, from database team, I'll assign it to Fred and I will save this. So this means this incident has been assigned to some individual and is in progress. And we can see the state of this incident has been changed to in progress. And now according to that life cycle, Fred Luddy should work on this incident and try to resolve it as soon as possible. So for that, Fred Luddy can go ahead and resolve this incident by clicking here, and he will have to fill in some field. How was this incident resolved? Maybe solution provided, or you can select workaround provided. So why workaround is given here? Because according to the definition of incident, it should be restored as soon as possible. So you will not actually always have to resolve the root cause of that incident, but you have to provide solution and make it work anyhow, and we can solve those errors or the root cause again later. For that we will raise root cause analysis ticket, we can raise a problem ticket. We will discuss about that more in further videos, but you can select workaround provided here and provide a temporary workaround so that the service is again up and working. And then you will provide some notes that maybe root cause analysis will be done later. And then what was the resolution you did? For example, you restarted the server and it was working again. After restarting the server, it was working again, that is fine. But what caused it not to work? So that would be done in a root cause analysis or in the problem ticket. But as of now, the resolution stands resolved and Fred was able to resolve that within the time limit, and he will click on resolve. And now as soon as this is resolved, the SLA clock will stop working, and it says here it has been paused, and we can see it was resolved within 50% of the time it was allotted to, like within 29 to 30 minutes. And then Fred Luddy can actually go ahead and close the incident, or in ServiceNow it happens out of the box, like after 7 days, or maybe according to your organization after 14 days, 10 days, this incident will close automatically and you will not be able to reopen this incident. So out of the box you have 1 week to reopen this incident if this occurs again. Now we will see in incident management properties how can we configure the closure time of that incident. If I type incident here and go to incident properties, here we can see whether you want to enable closure of tickets automatically after these number of days. So if you want to enable that out of the box functionality, you can click yes and then give number of days when it should be automatically closed. If you give it 0, it will disable that feature. but if you give 7 days, it will auto close after 7 days, and if you give 14, it will auto close after 14 days. So in incident management properties, you can set many properties which are like the sys properties. You can go ahead and find these in sys properties table. For example, I'll type sys properties dot list, and you would be able to find all of these properties there. So you can set it from there or from this page. For example, let me search this com.snc.incident .snc.incident, and I will be able to find those properties which are related to incident. So you should not rename what are the out of the box system properties because they would be used in some other code, but you can go ahead and create your own system properties by clicking on new and then using them in your code. And incident management properties, we have other features also, like for example, when you want to copy an existing incident, what are the fields which should be copied with that incident. I'll just quickly show you how can we copy the incident. I'll go to incident list and let's try to copy the incident which we had created. I'll right click here on the header and I will click on copy incident to make a copy of this incident. So the incident number has been changed, which is always a new incident number, and the impact and urgency were copied, and as well as the priority, and the assignment group is also copied from there. The category is copied and the short description and description. And if we further go here, we can enable copy incident feature or not. If we click no here or uncheck this, that copy incident feature will not be available anymore. Enable create child incident feature. So if this incident has further child incidents, for example, if the Outlook server is down, many users will be affected by that, and there might be a possibility that 100 different incidents are raised from 100 different users. So what you can do is you can make those incidents as child of one particular incident, and when you close the parent incident, child incidents will be closed automatically. So that is why this feature is given here. I'm in the incident which we had created and resolved. Let's quickly see that how can we create child incidents of an existing incident. And now, for example, if I copy this incident, for example, this server was down and multiple users created an incident for that. For example, able tutor also created the incident for the same server, and the priority was high and critical, and they submitted it. And if I go back to the list of that incident and click on this incident, the first one which we had created, and I'll scroll down at the bottom on the child incidents, and I can click on edit, and I can bring up this incident number. I'll copy this here, and it will show me the list of all incidents where I can filter my incident and move it to the right side, and I will save this. And this means now both the incidents are same, but they were raised by some other person. And if I close this incident, for example, here, you can see the incident ending with 5 has been resolved automatically, and incident 1 has been permanently closed, so it cannot be reopened. But you can go ahead and reopen the incident number 5. So this is how you can manage multiple incidents which are raised for the same issue easily in ServiceNow. And finally, I would like to show you another feature which was introduced recently. It is called critical incidents map. It will show you actually the map of the whole world, and you can see where the high priority incidents have been raised. For example, this is one incident which is ending with 18, and you can click here and see on any part of the world where the critical incidents have been raised. And this is a high priority incident with impact and urgency as 1 high. And you can see which team is working on it or which user is working on it and who raised the incident and what is the problem as well. So this was a general overview of incident management. We will see other aspects of ITIL as well in further videos, and I will try to bring out more facts about incident management in further videos as well. I hope this video was interesting and helpful to you. Let me know in comments if you have any suggestions or any questions. Please do like the video and let me know in comments if you have any questions or any feedback. Thank you.